So today I'm actually going to be talking about my trip to Atlanta. Um, I don't work in Chick Fil A anymore, but well, it's complicated. But when I was working full time in Chick Fil A, they decided to take me to Atlanta to see the home office of Chick Fil A, like the corporate office. So, like last week or a couple weeks ago, I went with my coworkers, and it was honestly uh, an experience that I'll never forget. I remember walking into the home office, first of all, seeing how beautiful everything is. I mean, Georgia's already beautiful. I love Georgia. But seeing the nature that they have, like around the office and stuff, it's like literally in the middle of a forest and it's beautiful. And so I was like looking at all the trees, looking at all the plants, the fountains. I see like a sculpture of Truett Cathy. I'm like, that's crazy. And then finally we walk inside and there's a devotional going on. So what they do is like every Monday morning they do a devotional that it's like just a speaker that talks about what's in his heart and what like Jesus wanted him to talk about that day or whatever. So we decided to sit down, have breakfast, and listen to the devotional, just to kind of get their week going. That's why they do it. So then we're sitting down, and all of a sudden I see this guy like sitting next to one of our managers, and he's like, "Oh, can I sit here? Can I sit here?" We're like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." We see his name tag, and it's Dan Cathy, which is Truett Cathy's son. And if you don't know already, Truett Cathy died like a few weeks before we went. So we were supposed to see the Truett Cathy, which is the owner of Chick Fil A, the founder of Chick Fil A. But he died before we could actually meet him in person. But now his son has taken over, and his son is Dan Cathy. And Dan Cathy, and Dan Cathy was asking if he could sit next to us. This is like a billionaire, okay, asking to sit next to us. So we were like, yeah, sure, of course. You own this place. So he sat next to us, and he was like so humble. He was like, "I'm so happy that you guys are here, whatever, whatever." We were like, wow, this is awesome. We're having breakfast or watching this devotional with the Dan Cathy. That's crazy. Like, if you go to a corporate office, you will never ever see that. So I thought it was pretty cool. So then like we just walked around, we saw the tour of the place, we saw how Chick Fil A got started and a bunch of other stuff. So I was really humbled, and I was really just amazed by how much detail they pay attention to every little thing that makes Chick Fil A run. And they really pay like attention to all the little details, and they think it's really important. And like Chick Fil A is literally their life. So I was really amazed by that and how much time they devote themselves to make Chick Fil A the great company that it is. And then what else? So we got this tour. We got into this tour, and like our tour guide was just showing us like the kitchen where they like make new ideas for what to sell at the Chick Fil A stores. And then we see that there's a meeting going on, and it's an executive meeting, like where all the top like managers and like Dan Cathy and a bunch of other people, important people of Chick Fil A, are like are going on in the meeting. So then the tour guide is like, "Oh, well, I'm known for breaking up meetings for our tour guide or for our tours, so I'm gonna ask to see if it's a meeting that I can interrupt." So he texts a few people, but they're not answering. So he's like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna go in and see." So he opens the door, and Dan Cathy stops what he's talking about, and he's like, "Oh, yes, please come in." So we all walk in, and he stops the whole important meeting that was going on just to like tell us that he appreciates us, and that if it wasn't for us, they would not exist and they wouldn't have jobs. Like, if it wasn't for us selling the chicken and doing good at what, like being nice or whatever, doing everything the Chick Fil A way, if it wasn't for us, like they wouldn't have anything to do because, whatever. So then they were like, "You know what, like we appreciate you, like everything we do here is for you guys, and we really appreciate you." And he was like, "As a matter of fact, thank you guys." And he started clapping for us, and then everyone in the room stood up and started clapping for us. And at that very moment, I got emotional. I was like, wow, these people really care about Chick Fil A. And so it was just an amazing opportunity that was given to me to see how everything is like over there. And given the circumstances, I did have to quit Chick Fil A week after I went because I got this new job and I'm working full-time now. But honestly, if I had the chance to stay in Chick Fil A, and I don't know, I love that company, and now I love it more after going to the corporate office. So and every time that you eat a chicken sandwich or you go to Chick Fil A and ask for those donuts, ask for those nuggets, you remember like this video and you think to yourself, wow, the time and effort that everyone put to make this sandwich or to make these donuts is worth it. So that's what I wanted to talk about. So don't take Chick Fil A for granted, because they work extra hard and they bust their asses to make all the great food that we eat today. So with that being said, getting emotional. So I'm just gonna